Hello, good afternoon. Earlier today, Nick Sherry announced his intention to retire from the ministry. Nick has been a tremendous contributor to the Labor team over a large number of years now. He is someone who can look back on a career with tremendous personal highs, including being the first Minister for Superannuation, a policy area very close to his heart. His political career has also contained some tremendous personal lows, and I think Nick is always going to be remembered as someone in this Parliament who showed a great deal of fortitude and determination, even in the most difficult of circumstances. He's also been an innovative policy thinker. He certainly goes from the ministry to the backbench as a Senator for Tasmania, with my great personal thanks for the contribution that he has made. In the circumstances where Nick indicated that he did want to take a step back from the ministry, I have determined to appoint Julie Collins, the member for Franklin, to the ministry. Julie has been doing important work as a parliamentary secretary. As Minister, she will now have the opportunity to build on this important work in the community services area. She will serve as the Minister for Community Services, and she will add to this responsibility being Minister for Indigenous Employment and Economic Development, and also Minister for the Status of Women. Sid Sidebottom, the member for Braddon, will become a parliamentary secretary and will serve in the areas of agriculture, fisheries and forestry. There will also be a number of other changes to ministerial arrangements and to the Cabinet. These changes are ones which reflect my central priorities as we go into 2012. First, of course, keeping our economy strong today and strengthening and modernising our economy for the future. We live in a period of tremendous economic change, and in this period our focus will always be on jobs today for Australians and jobs tomorrow. That means that we need to keep our economy strong now, and we need to be modernising it for the future. Second, as we enter 2012, my priority is on ensuring that Australians can share the benefits of our nation's wealth. I want to see Australians sharing the benefits of opportunity, and I don't want to see Australians left behind. With these priorities, I have determined to make some changes to ministerial arrangements and some new appointments to Cabinet. I believe that with this new Cabinet in place, we will see an important mix of new energy and talent, as well as wise heads and experienced heads in Cabinet. We will see this new mixture which will give us the focus and the firepower we need in 2012 to pursue the government's priorities. I believe it's the right mix of experience and new blood. As I said, with our first priority being keeping the economy strong and ensuring that Australians have jobs, the ability to get a better job, the ability to start a small business if that's what they choose to do, the reassurance that when they go to work there will be fairness and decency there. That's my first priority. And in this period of profound economic change, I believe the ministry must reflect that priority. As we all know, our economy is changing, and that change does bring with it opportunities. Opportunities for new jobs, new industries, as well as the chance for older industries to change. So in this period of change, to keep our whole economy strong, we must be shaping the economy of the future. And that means, of course, our focus on clean energy. It means the opportunities that come from new technologies like the NBN. It means a strong resources sector, high-tech manufacturing, a diverse services sector, a growing food and wine industry that benefits our agricultural producers, and an innovative and competitive tourism industry. This is the economy that I want to see for the future. It is one that we have commenced to build in 2012 with important reforms like our clean energy future reforms, putting a price on carbon, like the minerals resource rent tax, sharing the benefits that come from this period of high commodity prices and strong demands for minerals, and of course with the rollout of the NBN. Given the importance I am placing on jobs today and jobs tomorrow on the shaping of this future economy, I am appointing Greg Combet as Minister for Industry and Innovation. Greg will retain his current responsibilities as Minister for Climate Change and Energy Efficiency, given that our clean energy future is such a key part of our nation's economic future and will be a key part of seeing the innovation that we need to create our future economy being unleashed. Greg Combet will work alongside Chris Evans. Greg Combet working alongside Chris. Chris will serve as Minister for Tertiary Education, Skills, Science and Research. And the two of them will work in a new department that brings together skills and higher education with the innovation, science and research portfolios. That is, it will bring together skills and higher education with the things that shape our future economy: innovation, science and research. I want Australians to be able to get the skills and education that they need to have the best possible opportunities, not only in today's economy, but also in the future economy. Skills reform is going to be an important priority for the government in the first half of 2012, and Chris Evans will be working on that. Mark Arbib will step up to the new challenge of being Assistant Treasurer and Minister for Small Business. This is to sharpen a focus on one of my strong beliefs, and that is that the highest aspiration for working Australians today is not necessarily getting a better job. It can be to start their own small business, and I will be looking to Mark Arbib as Minister for Small Business to be in touch with the needs of our small business community and for being in touch with Australians who see their future being creating their own small business. In delivering on our agenda for the economy of the future, Greg Combet will work with Kim Carr, who will maintain his long-held passion for Australian manufacturing by becoming the Minister for Manufacturing as well as the Minister for Defence Material. This is a future on focus on our future economy and on jobs. Jobs are essential, but we're a Labor government, and so we're never going to forget that the decency and fairness at work, the quality of jobs matter to working Australians. It is critical that people are afforded fairness and dignity when they walk into their workplaces. Bill Shorten will become Minister for Employment and Workplace Relations, and I've asked Bill not only to focus on our Fair Work agenda, as important as that agenda is, but to also broaden our description and thinking about workplace relations so that it deepens our national understanding of how workplaces are changing and the challenges for work and family life as that change occurs. In the economy of today and certainly the economy of tomorrow, we will work differently than we have in the past. That does bring benefits for working families, including benefits like being able to work from home in a more meaningful way than has ever been possible before. But it also brings challenges, and I will be asking Bill Shorten to not only focus on our incredibly important Fair Work agenda, but to take this broader approach to workplace relations. Bill Shorten will also be Minister for Financial Services and Superannuation as a recognition that working Australians today are not only concerned about their days at work, but they are using that time at work to make proper and prudent preparation for their retirement through superannuation and other financial investments. As I indicated, the government's other significant priority going into 2012 is about using our prosperity to give people the chance to get ahead, to share opportunity whilst also making sure that we aren't leaving Australians behind. Central to that is education. Ensuring that today's kids get the best possible education is vital to our prosperity as a nation in the future. It's also vital to our equity as a nation. No one, I think, would doubt my passion when it comes to this area. Education transforms lives, it makes lives, it made my life. Education is the key to ensuring that our future prosperity is there and equity is there, and education starts in the days before school through what we can do in early childhood. I have therefore decided to strengthen our early childhood and education team. That team currently consists of Peter Garrett, Kate Ellis and Jacinta Collins. I have decided to strengthen that team with the appointment of Brendan O'Connor, who will assist Peter with our 2012 school reform agenda, including the government's response to the Gonski Review. Brendan will also take over the important portfolio of human services. Now, there's nothing more important to the peace of mind of Australian families than knowing if they face illness or disability, mental illness, if they need an extra helping hand because of the impacts that come with ageing, or they need a hand in the circumstances of a natural disaster, that it will be there for them. As a Labor government, as a Labor Party, we've always believed in the importance of helping Australians who are down on their luck through no fault of their own, and that hasn't changed. I've therefore decided at Cabinet level to dedicate new resources to these areas that give assurance to working Australians and Australians generally that a helping hand would be there if they were in times of need. Tanya Plibersek will join Cabinet as the Minister for Health, and Mark Butler will join Cabinet as the Minister for Mental Health and Ageing and the Minister for Social Inclusion. This team, this new team, will work on the delivery of Nicola Roxon's enormous suite of health reforms, including the implementation of the landmark health agreement that we reached at the start or towards the start of this year and then delivered in its full form in the middle of the year, and a wide-ranging set of reforms so important for the future of healthcare. This team will also work on the delivery of the nation's biggest ever mental health package as funded in the May budget, and the team will work, particularly Mark Butler, on reforming aged care. I believe it's important that this team works on this important agenda. I also believe that it's important Mark take the job as Minister for Social Inclusion so that he is at the Cabinet table, able to ensure by looking across portfolios that disadvantaged Australians don't get left behind. Jenny Macklin is going to continue her vital work on the development of a national disability insurance scheme. This will be a key part of the government's priorities in 2012, and given it is such a pivotal part of our agenda, Jenny's title has been changed to reflect that one of the key areas of work for her in 2012 will be disabilities reform. Robert McClelland will be at the Cabinet table as the Minister for Emergency Management. Having lived through the days of last summer, both as individuals and as a nation, we all saw what can come when natural disasters strike, how they can impact the lives of so many thousands of Australians. As we move into this summer, which I am hoping is a peaceful and quiet time, but having lived through the days of last summer, we know that natural disaster can strike and strike quickly. I am determined that at the highest level of government, we have a minister who is focused on our response, the Commonwealth's response to natural disasters. Robert will take that job. He will also take on the important challenge of bringing to the Cabinet table new thinking on the area of housing, both public and private. I am determined that we continue to drive against homelessness, that we continue to make a difference to the circumstances of Australians who are at risk of being homeless or who have become homeless. And I also want us to strive to make a difference to housing affordability for young Australians, and Robert McClelland will perform those roles. I've asked Nicola Roxon to take on the portfolio of Attorney General, which lies at the heart of good government. Nicola's first love was the law. She is a Supreme Court prize winner. She is a former High Court Judge's Associate, and she will return to her first love of the law as the Attorney General. She will be the first woman in the nation's history to serve in that role, and I know that she will do it with distinction. Amongst all of the things that Attorney General brings, I've specifically asked Nicola to lead our efforts against the legal campaign by Big Tobacco to end the government's reform of plain paper packaging. These changes do mean an expansion of the Cabinet to 22 in order to ensure the government's reform priorities in 2012 are directly represented at the Cabinet table. In the Outer Ministry, as I've indicated, Mark Arbib is becoming Assistant Treasurer and Minister for Small Business. In addition to his current responsibility as Minister for Sport, Mark will also take on the role as Manager of Government Business in the Senate. Jason Clare will be appointed Minister for Home Affairs and Minister for Justice. Amongst some minor changes to the existing responsibilities of parliamentary secretaries, Mike Kelly will return to the defence portfolio with particular responsibility for assisting Stephen Smith and the government on the transition in Afghanistan. He is well placed to do that given his own experience in his defence days and his particular expertise in counterinsurgency. Finally, I am determined, being the first woman to serve in this position as the nation's Prime Minister, to see women take their full and equal place in our nation's decision-making. I'm very pleased as a result of this set of changes, the nation will see its first ever female Attorney General, and we will add another woman to our Cabinet and another woman to our ministry. These women, Nicola, Tanya and Julie, understand from personal experience many of the challenges Australian women face as they seek to build a career whilst having a family. And I believe it's important that Australian women can look at the decision-making of their nation and say that their life's experience is represented there. And I believe Nicola, Julie, Tanya will strengthen our capacity to do that.